August 11, 2022, continuing from January 3rd, 2022, December 7, 2021. Folks, when you look at these algorithms and things like that there, I knew a guy that said that once. I busted up laughing. When you understand how the conversations work in regards to the title that you're searching for and the keywords that are in there, and you have to find out what is your relevancy to that title. What makes you different than anybody else on the planet in regards to that title, in regards to the future, in regards to the digital world that we all now are immersed in the immortal world, in the 2D world, and into the VR world. We can take a look at the content that I have here. My content, I don't design my content to be clicked on, because the people that we're contacting, they don't click. They want their information in what's called now inverted pyramid style, where you have enough information in that first block. That's the number one block. And that occurred on December 7th in regards to this title search right there. You know, I do everything by hand like this. I get more credit. But you'll know that when you Google search social. Or I actually just go to social credit system scores and rankings.com. So with this, where I was, and everything gets indexed, it has been, and I, especially with what I do, I've allowed Google to index my entire life from the first time I opened up my email. And that goes for everybody. Now, it depends on how much information that you want to block from Google, which you have all the rights to do. But when you start sending out blocks from people that you are trying to establish a relationship with, you instantly get a red flag in the digital world. And that red flag goes to the number one authority of all security. Can you tell me what that is, folks? Homeland Security. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? And so what happens now, folks, is that Denver now was used as a model, as a city that was being indexed based off voice, latent prints, to be pattern matched to your images, your emails, things that we don't see. It's all up in the cloud. And they have what's called extractors. And they use deep mind, highly advanced algorithms to get information out from the cloud that may be up there lingering. So when you understand that, whenever you join DuckDuckGo or all these people that you're trying to hide while you go and troll and take content and do your devious things, well, you've been indexed since 2014. That's when it all started. 2011 for those like me that knew before everybody else, and people are just now coming to the conversation. But what happens now is that when journalists and these folks that are going to be, who are identified as destroyers of democracy, puppets of the establishment that want their candidate to win, they've lost all authority. And we need to go through this decay and deception and the decadence of our crippled society that's been promised for 60 years to eradicate the homeless. We've got two growth mayors, Pena and Webb, who got into a look at me photo humble bragging where they actually honored the decay mayors, which put them down into some serious rankings. So when they Google search their name in the history, it's going to come up. All their conversations are going to be patternized. You're going to be reading shit. You're going to be going, oh my God. It just takes a while to get there. It takes enough people to start talking about it for that content. Now, when you understand what's happening now, the content that you're seeing now is from people's conversations, not by click-throughs. I don't want you clicking through my stuff. I don't want you liking me, and my people don't. They're not like that. They're not humble braggers. Get your fucking ass, go to work, get it done, and maybe I'll appreciate you. But my appreciation came when I stroked that pen, clicked that button to vote for you. You know, if you look, and you know where I learned that? One of my bosses, mentors, part of GMB Publishing, he always told me, people were like, and he doesn't give us, he doesn't ever thank us for the work he does. And I'm one of the foremen. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was shaking my leg. I always shake my leg. It relaxes me. You just don't want to do it in public because then people think you're insane. So those people that shake their foot, it's just rhythmic. That's a rhythm of where you're at right now, and you're trying to pace yourself to be able to handle whatever else is coming. So those are rhythmic motions that your body does to make you aware that you're over exceeding your mortal ability, and you're heading into your meta. You're beyond your mind's recognition of things. And when you start noticing these signs, you're able to relax and then still do it and take a look at the people that are now looking at you shaking your leg. And it's just things that your subconscious mind will pick up, the little twerks and perks, and the images that your subconscious mind picks up is just far beyond a camera. You just don't know how to recall it. Well, we do. So if your camera took a picture, if you sent an email, whatever, we don't actually see the email. What we can do is take some deep mind thoughts, put in a little bit of some symbols in there, make some algorithms out of it, and we start digging. And we just refine the algorithm until we get to the point of where there's only one thing on that page, and it's what we're looking for. It's pretty awesome when you know how to do it. And it's strange because you would think our media, like the Denver Post, who, for some reason, when I was at this event, I met a girl named Mary, or Ann, excuse me. I did meet a Mary, but it wasn't Mary Ann. This lady was named Mary. She said she was a journalist, and she said that the company that owns, an investment firm that owns Denver Post, is trying to wreck it to the bone. And I'm like, why? She says, I don't know, ask them. Well, for me, I don't care. If they want to wreck their own, I don't know what the truth is or what isn't. All I know is that I'm on number one when it comes to this title. In video form, in Metaverse form. All the conversations I knew that I was having, I didn't have to record myself personally anymore. It's now done automatically. It's really hard because I always want to keep my little devices on to record my conversations when I deal with political people or people coming onto my radio show. So I only do that during specific times. I've never done it to none of my friends, and that's just the way that is. Because they already know what I can do. So if you're my friend, you're like, what? Teach me how to do that, G. I don't want that shit in my life. Okay. All badness erased. You won't see any of it. No racism, no nothing. The Metaverse doesn't see that. We're all the same. We're connected to all colors in the Metaverse. All thoughts. And nothing goes backwards except your emotions to play your games. But the time of backwards and the honoring of history that have kind of destroyed where we're at in the digital world, those it's going to be all different. It's going to happen overnight. And when you wake up, you'll be just like, wow, I can't get on the internet no more. That's because there's protocols. The freeness, the fly at the seat of your pants like I am. I'm not structured, folks. I don't even have a high school diploma. And I'm here kicking the shit out of all the IT people in Denver, in the administration for government and those that follow and pursue the kleptocratic ways that have been indexed in 2019. And when they all laugh, I just see them getting sucked in, but I see them stretching. Like when you're in space, Their whole fucking life, their whole digital being, when they go online, those people that have no clue where the internet's going, and that's almost the entire city and county of Denver. The entire government, the entire IT people. That's why you're seeing this. How does a guy with no high school diploma who's battled every department, went to every court, all the way to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal, and I'm still here? Because there's bad people, folks. And until we all stand up and take care of our shit in Denver, I don't care what goes on in any other city except New York, our East Coast brothers and sisters, and West Coast brothers and sisters. We got to take care of those. Those are entry points. Those are the entry points to whatever wants to come and invade our soil. Then you got Canada. I mean, the alarm's going off, folks. I'm not the one that does it. I'm just a messenger. And the thing is, we can all live in peace, man, where we could all go to China and take a look at all those awesome looking buildings so I could take pictures of them and talk to the people and eat their food. And I don't want to talk government. I want to see history. I want to see the Great Wall of China and what people wasted all their money to. When you look back and you see all the stuff that's built to destroy or keep people out, when they just let everybody in. They're China. They know that. Russia. Same with Russia. They got some awesome architectural wilderness. I mean, things that you just, wow. You can see, we have, in the United States, but you're not going to see the architectural values and all the other things that you see. One thing about alarms, folks, they go off at the weirdest time sometimes for me. So, anyways, that's where we're at with this conversation. It's not about me. It's not about the Denver Post. It's not about the media, ABC, CBS. They haven't even chimed in yet, but we got them indexed because they're FCC regulated. And that's where our power really lies, is with FCC stations. When you understand how indexing works, like if you go to disinformationczar.us, that's an asset that we're going to sell. And we're hoping that Denver citizens get the cue, and their IT people start telling people, man, we need to get this Giavanni. He knows, man. He's going to get us the equipment we need. He's going to stock our colleges up with some new frontier way of learning. We're going to raise our learning bar. And there ain't a college in this nation that can do that at this present time. And the good thing about it is we're non-political. So anybody's got political views in Denver, you got to just talk about it somewhere else, because it's not. We're all one people. We're Denver. We are all Denver. We all own the Broncos. We all own all the sports teams. We own more than what everybody realizes that we own. We are the brand. So when all these people think that they own the brand of Denver and all that, they got another thing coming. We indexed it. The Broncos, all the owners, all those people, all these people that think they own all this shit, they do. But they don't control the copyright trademarks of the city and county of Denver. And there lies a heap of load of money for the citizens of Denver, to where we're going to have to close our doors to people moving to Denver. You're going to have to contact our government or other agencies in order to be a citizen of Denver. Just the way it is. If you're in, you're grandfathered. But anybody else trying to come in, no. And all these apps that are coming in, taking money from our local businesses, even our our international or world global businesses. And you got an app and you're in Wisconsin, but you don't have anybody here, but you have an office, digital office. You're going to be paying a apps tax. And see, we're going to create so much wealth. See, we're not allowed to make money with Denver. So we created City and County of Denver.us. That's the portal. It'll be operated in conjunction with the government, Denver.gov. We're going to drop denvergov.org bullshit. That's gone. That is dinosaur manipulated content. And when you see when that goes, how many other people get to breathe their companies without seeing Denver at the top, Denver.gov, or the kleptocracy way of doing things. As slow as time goes, Mayor Hancock is like an hourglass, and his power is dwindling. Every day that goes back he loses that much power. And the people that are fighting to change the 20 years of bullshit that he's created through the promises of eradication, where he took over from Hickenlooper. Now Hickenlooper's a senator, and he got there. Why? Because he's Hickenlooper? Because he bullshitted people? He's a nice guy. I've talked to the guy. Personal stuff, too. And I won't say it. He knows. Go ask him. If he wants to tell you, I'll either concur or deny. But I like him. I like him. I think he's been taken on to a whirlwind, and running for president isn't something that's going to happen in the future, because all the algorithms are going to change. And when his total score comes in regards to his promise in 2004, 3, 2, I don't remember what it was. That's where you guys have to look it up. I'm just giving dates in regards to content that I'm saying that's matching other content I have written and published somewhere else. That's the crosstalk conversation block building that I have an awesome ability to do. I can't spell, I can't do any of that, because I have I'm chronic dyslexia. Chronic. I get pissed off so much and bad. I just want to punch myself in the face. No, I don't want to do bodily harm, but sometimes you just want to kick your own ass. But you don't, because if you did, you know what I mean? You'd be going to the hospital, because you need to if you're kicking your own ass. But I say a lot of things in jest, folks. So we got to laugh at ourselves. We got to make fun of ourselves again. We need to bring the jokes back. I've got Asian friends that know some funny Asian jokes, man. They're the funniest jokes I've ever heard. And they laugh and they like it, because they're confident people who they are. A joke is what it is, a joke. And when we can't joke about ourselves, and that's what happened. We killed the Rat Pack that we all so graciously tried to make into a iconic theme. It's dead. And now we're going to restore everything back to where the reality is Denver is. We are all Denver. Mayor Hancock bullshit. The more he says it now, he's going to come out in his camps saying shit that what happens is the stuff that he's doing are now negative keywords. Anything that comes out of his mouth, anything that comes out of, I don't want to say it, folks, but I've seen the algorithm. They're right in front of you. It's all right in front of you, and I don't even have these images embedded into the websites. They're timed to be embedded or be published, if you will. If there's an email address attached to it, it's already been embedded. But the title of it, that's the true embedded that you get in Google searches when you see embedded. That means it's inside of a website. But with that said, and the thing is, folks, really quick, is that with Mayor Hancock, I can take his attributes, and he has a lot, that I believe. I've seen it, folks, in the algorithms. I've seen it just personally as him being a nice guy. I think he's a naivete. I think that people have just they built the Hancock man, who you see, and he's got to break away from that, because it's all illegal. They broke the Spear Amendment, and see, he wouldn't have known, because he wasn't even born yet. And so when you hear about all these people about I'm fifth generation, what that means, when you're fifth generation, like a fifth generation business, a fifth generation family, don't mean nothing, folks. It doesn't. It means something in the what's that thing? In the census. It means something to the family and the friends. It means something when you're writing a legacy. But when you're running for office and you're saying, hey, I'm 5 generations, and then something like the Spear Amendment comes up, and none of these people, Candy C.D. Baca, Ian Tafoya, Tony Pigford, I could go on. Okay, we won't even mention Andy Reogeot. I mean, trying to be disrespectful. Just trying to figure out whatever happened to Smith, Jane, and Dick. Woo! These names, man. I'm dyslexic, so when people make fun of me, this is even better. Now, When all these people talk about Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, all, when all lives matter. In the digital world, all lives matter. In the mortal world, it's whoever's getting abused or feel they're getting abused the most and want to play victim, instead of just getting away from people that do that to them. Because if you don't know how to put the red flags to say, okay, I know what this kind of person is, they kind of all look alike. And they're on all colors, all religions. They all look different, but they all act the same in this one DNA trait. I know that sounds crazy, but when you break it down to binary code and what I can do as a mayor, folks, I'm going to make every business, that all these businesses that suffered, our children, the last 2 years from the COVID, I'm going to throw a party for, my daughter didn't get a graduation party, she didn't get a prom. That means all her friends, some of them committed suicide, folks. Nobody wants to talk about that. But we're going to. We're going to honor those kids. I'm sick of honoring the teachers and honoring all these attaboy administrators. And you want to ask me about the unions? I'm a union guy. I like the union from what I know of what it was in the 80s. And a lot of my people didn't want to join the union because they didn't want them to spend money on things that they didn't believe in. Well, maybe they don't believe in you drinking, or they don't believe in you smoking weed, but they give you the right to. And so if a union tilts to one side, and that's the thing about Denver, and that's what makes our unions most powerful in the world, we're non-political. We're going to get the job done. As soon as they learn the algorithms that I've already written, I've been doing this for a long time, folks, and you can tell. And it goes on and on. There's 163,000. We probably take eight levels of. So we're here. One, we own Meta-Human Adventures. Denver's going to control that. And what Meta-Human Adventures are, we use 3D cameras that a person wears in his whole entire body. And we do some other things with GPS and self-out. We go all into the verse. It's scary when you look at the back end and you're like, wow, this is what that looks like? Let me see it in code. Let me see it. Anyways, but it's so simple. People go, that's it? But it's the most simplest. When you're writing any type of software, putting anything together, straight lines are always the best. My dad taught me that. He was a reliability engineer. I used to sit on his lap when he worked for, at that time would have been Air Research. If everybody knows what Air Research, my dad was a sergeant in the Air Force, Korean conflict. He was a staff sergeant. He adopted 7 children. He was a badass white man. I understood the white privilege when it comes to white people coming after you. And my dad ain't alive no more, so I don't have that privilege no more. I don't have Big Daddy no more. When teachers would abuse me, my dad would go and tell them something. And I could tell you after their conversation, and my dad was big on, you don't like what I'm telling you, you can call the police. Please, let's do that. You couldn't, because they would have gotten in trouble for abuse. I was abused, folks. I mean, we don't want to talk about it. It's so funny because my children were abused by their people that are trying to protect them in the Denver Health and Human Services, and they abused me and my civil rights. But when we told this to Ian Tafoya back in 2015, all I could see is his big fat face, man, pumping his arm, walking in the middle of the street, talking bullshit. And then I see a Denver Democrat summer picnic, okay, where independents weren't allowed, Republicans weren't allowed, Green Party, Unity Party, and I'm sorry if I left out any other party. The marijuana, let's throw the fucking party with some Hennessy, some Patron. Let's get Durango Dank out there. Let's get, we got some great people, man. That Durango Dank's gonna just bring it. We're going to make Denver the most powerful city and county in the world. City and county of Denver.us. And then here's the second. I'm going to read. I'm digressing. City and county of Denver.com. That can make money. That's going to make residual income so that all of our citizens, even if you only made $100 a month and you didn't have to pay any sales tax, wouldn't that be awesome? And that's what my system does. It's taken us 12 years. We got all kinds of people. And we call our system wizardknowsalltellsall.com. wizardknowsalltellsall.com. And it's all intertwined. It's all verified platforms by Google. We followed all the terms and conditions. We took some risks. We got punished. We got canceled. And we're still here fighting for Denver. So when Andy comes out and says he's using keywords like fighting and delivering, he doesn't understand. I used those words already, way back a long time ago. And so what they did is they went and looked for words that no candidate was using. And they don't realize that just because I haven't said it recently doesn't mean I haven't said it or wrote it in the past. And so what happens now, folks, since 2014, 2015, it's been working. 2019, it really went into effect with Penfield Tate, his old employer. Go ask him. He gets in this race. I just got to make a couple little switches. He's done. My content will destroy him worse than it destroyed him when he got laid off, fired, whatever it was with his old law firm. That's just what I hear. I don't know that to be a fact, but when I went on the website, he was no longer working for the law firm he was working for. And that's because I sent him an email, and it's all been documented. The video's not online no more because I got hit by trolls, and we lost 17 channels, about 13 years worth of work, and 3,000 videos. The good news is I knew I was going to be hit by a troll. And I couldn't do anything until I got hit by a troll. Because there's two systems in regards to having a YouTube channel. And I exhausted every means I possibly could with my personal. I sacrificed my personal identity so that my companies would do the right thing. I mean, you don't know what the wrong thing is until you push it to a point to where it causes other people to destroy you based off content they believe shouldn't have been there when it should have and it could have. And I had so many channels that even the best lawyer that we handled didn't know about what as much as we knew, and we became telling them what to do. So a lot of talking where I didn't have to pay, but I educated them. And that's okay because artificial intelligence indexed that. So whenever they go and talk and they do their thing, what follows them is the cloud of Marcus Giavanni. And my digital cloud is one of the most powerful in the fucking world, folks. And I'm going to share it with the citizens of Denver because I'm not going to live forever. But the content I built will. And the citizens of Denver, we're going to honor Mayor Robert W. Spear. We're going to declare Robert W. Spear Day every day. July 17, 2023. It'll be July 17. The day Mayor Hancock leaves office with his $294,000 pension every year, leaving Denver with habitual habits that were promised to be eradicated, only to be enabled so that he can continue the fighting that things are getting worse. And all the voters insanely voting the same way, expecting different results. Well, now that means something. Because only in the world where it's actually going to be the way it is, everybody's living the truth, doing the right thing, they're going to start invading the circles of people that aren't. The ones that claim. That's why you're starting to see Africa, you're starting to see other countries' content showing up in local searches. That's because when you Google search a term, you're going to get the best information. That's Google's promise. That matches all these other criteria of not SEO work or something, but deep authority driven. How old are you? Where have you done in your life? When you take pictures, do you go to there and take pictures, or do you take pictures that you're buying on the internet and not telling anybody, like, oh yeah, here's a picture for me in New York, and you're done. And so you have a lot of journalists that are not journalists. They're puppets to crush democracy, and we've already indexed them. Hashtag Rubino JC. It was sad because I look at the guy and he looks like a little puppy, and I just want to pet him and say, nice little puppy, nice little Joey, good Joey. I just want to pet him, man. Come here, Joey. Give me a hug. But he ain't. If I could show you a picture of what that guy looks like, man, you'd be scared as shit. And you can just do algorithms and you'll see images that'll right next to him. Like, hey, why are those images there? Because that's what he fucking looks like. Because he's a deceiver. And there's one other guy. I haven't done him yet. I mean, he's the main guy. I kind of like the way he writes, but I've caught him in a couple things. And I've sent him emails. And I'm just waiting because when you take out the kingfish, the ones that think they're really bad, and I wait. I do the lower fish. I do the ones that are all barking right now. Take care of the little dogs. Because when the big dogs start barking, that's when the battle begins. That's when I have to be on my feet. Because folks, that's not bullshit, nobody. We already seen what they've done to me in the mortal world, and nobody knows. In the battle that I'm about to fight in the digital world is going to be one that's going to take them out quickly in the digital world. They're going to wake up and they're going to go, and it's going to happen two ways because it depends on where they are in their thought patterns and actions in regards to suppressing democracy in the city and county of Denver. And so when Andy came out, Andy for Denver, hashtag Andy for Denver. When Andy for Denver came out and he started getting the Colorado politics, the conservative people start barking about, and I've told all these people over years that we're nonpartisan, but what they decided is to go dark. They're telling everybody, oh, it's 60 years. In order to know 60 years, then you've got to know the rest of the story. So for me, for him being an Army guy telling half-truths, that's disrespectful to, you need to be dishonorably discharged in my Army, bro. No offense, dude, but being an Army intelligence officer that you're claiming to be, you're getting your ass wiped all over by your own content. You politically killed your own campaign by your own people when you announced GOP. First GOP, and you're a non-political, but that's because you all disregarded it. Just like the Democrats who took it over have disregarded it for the last 60 years. And what you're trying to do is virtual signal that Andy boy, is going to come in, and he's an Army Ranger knight, shining battle fucking beast, is about to get his ass whooped by Marcus Giavanni. Doing it all with our true artificial intelligence, no humble bragging, pure facts. Google search Andy Rougeot. Look at the people, the ones that are bragging. They've lost all. See, they don't know it yet because those switches haven't been hit. They're flipped in China. It's going on in China. It happened in 2020. And now you get these people just now talking about it. Well, what happens is they had to get their sources and their stuff, their information somewhere. So if they're either talking about someone that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and then what happens is if they went to my sites, they told Google that they have enough authority for my attention. And so I've told this to people. So now I got people telling me that they're telling their people not to Google, not to click on any of my stuff. Number one, it makes people click on my stuff. Okay? Now, you can click on my videos and shut it off. Everybody knows that without viewing the video and just reading the deep mind content that's in the description. All that description is code, folks. Not typos, second alternative words. I do things to keep people talking. If everything I did was perfect language, nobody would need to talk about it because it would be boring and stupid, like you see the current content that's trying to manipulate the Denver's elections for another fucking 4 years. Ain't gonna happen. That's artificial intelligence. That's the future Denver. I'm sorry, Democrats of Denver. You people back in 1963 trick-fucked your asses, and you're not going to be able to get out of it. The good news is, when you look at my cityandcountyofdenver.us and cityandcountyofdenver.com, which all the other URLs, I got the trifecta, That part's going to be run by the city. And at this point, believe it or not, there's only one person, besides the people I'm about to sell it to. Because if Michael Hancock can't put his head out of his digital ass and get away from all of his non-accomplishments and all of his promises of eradication only to encourage and hang out with Chicago mayor talking about non-political election rules, that right there fucked him so bad. He don't know it because he's Michael Hancock. He don't know it because the team he has, they're all Michael Hancock. And the people, their IT people, they're so fucking outdated that they're going to get paid regardless. So they might as well just keep pumping these people full of bullshit fucking content so that Marcus Giavanni can take over for the citizens. We own this. 2023 Mayor of Denver, Marcus Giavanni. SMO Worldwide. That is another. It's not just social media optimization. It's anything that starts with SMO. Just like GP7A. That's the most powerful three-letter symbol in a structured algorithm that in back conversations you're talking about G. Anything that starts with a G. Google, God, Giovanni, government. Shall I go on? How about P? Public, power, people, politicians, political. Now, what about A? Apple, authority. Excuse me. Doing all this talking, getting thirsty. So, attorney, authority, agreement, America. See, these are deep, deep things that people don't even know about because we haven't even cleaned the cesspool of bullshit that is polluting our information as we sit. Here we have, Sarah TV, Denver mail election, talking about a person in Boston being the first Asian American. Good for her, but I don't want to be elected because I'm the first of anything. I want to be elected because of my merits and my ability to be able to be a super administrator that can not only build platforms and care and give them to this and bestow them to the citizens of Denver to put together the best companies that will take over these platforms that people from other countries will be allowing us to make them like us. And all I needed was the first entry point, and that's cityandcountyofdenver.com. And then we went next level because I wanted to give everybody enough time where it didn't look like I was, he went and bought everything all in one day. All those dates that I bought, the cityandcountyofdenver.com, cityandcountyofdenver.net, .org, .company, .me, .us, those are significant dates within the spectrum of the World Wide Web that I have built to trigger a new Metaverse expansion. And everybody that's caught into the wormhole, which is a betterment virus. It feeds off the emotions and habits of humans in regards to the categories and content that we upload to Google, derived from what we believe based off highly advanced algorithms based in categories, subject matters, infinity, whatever. In other words, Denver's going to be the most powerful city and county of Denver. Our graduation rates are going to be in the 98%. Right now we're at 48. And we have outdated women that are making bang buck because they wear red lipstick and they do whatever it is they do, and they use all their bloviated of what they used to do and not what they can do now. And when you look at what their results are, they get bank. Like Kelly Bra of Denver, Chamber of Commerce, the most worthless organizations in the entire city of Denver, all made up of attaboys and girls giving money so that Kelly can make $450,000 a year, more than the mayor of Denver. And now she's working over there at the college as a strategic fucking has-been because she's nowhere. You think they'd call me up and say, "Hey, gee, we need your stuff over." No, because this is how they lose. This is the big slam dunk on these bitches. And I don't mean just women bitches. I just mean bitches, man. People that have been just manipulating Denver for 60 fucking years on the promises of eradicating all things bad, but yet everything got worse. So now you have to understand the number one main reason that now they've been caught. There's nothing they can do. The ABC, CBS, NBC, they can write anything fucking they want about anybody. Try to destroy them. I've already been destroyed, so I don't give a fuck. I know what's coming. And I've got all that content ready to go. Because we'll just go in and you'll see, folks. ABC, they're not the powerful. They don't got all the power. There's algorithms that they've written and that they've done that would shock the out of you. But the good news is they get to erase all that and start over by getting involved with my campaign and making it so that no one will ever fuck with Denver again. You'll never take a child out of a parent's life. You're never going to allow a citizen that works for the city of Denver to become rogue agents for their cause to destroy a person or persons or families and children that stand up to their ill-begotten gains. And we're talking about Monica Jackson. We're talking about a magistrate judge, Karen Hubler, that I told all them that I was going to start an investigation when I got elected. This was in 2011 when they kept me off the ballot. That's how powerful they are. I went and told them all because I knew they're going to all talk. They're all going to send their emails. Go ahead, dumbasses. Make your fucking move, Miss Epitome of Slippery, Karen Hubler. You're just a sexually frustrated woman, man. And it shows. You ever read the book, Everything You Want to Know About Sex But Was Afraid to Ask? I know that sounds harsh, but man, we're in harsh times. Harshness of what's coming for me hasn't even started yet. And I can't wait. Because I'm not going to lose. Nothing that they're going to... I don't plan on being mayor. These folks are going to make it so corrupt that they get elected again. And then what's going to happen for them in this time, which they don't see, is there on the election day in November, there's a lot of Democrats that are bailing. They're just not going to show up. They know now. The millennials, the ones that know computer and know the metaverse, and the old people that are trying to brainwash them because they got their grandkids doing their shit, or now it's their great-grandchildren, they've trick-fucked themselves. And they needed to do this in order for Denver's young citizens to elect Marcus Giavanni to lead us to a non-political family where we are all Denver. And the Democrats are just going to have to sit in the back seat, and we don't want to hear another fucking federal problem ever again, because we don't need federal money. Are you listening to me, folks? If I was mayor back in 2015, the money that was promised to get those sidewalks, they would have been fixed. Or I would have went and found Oz and punched the shit out of him, even at 62 years old. I stay in my condition because you never know. You never know, folks. But if we're at that level, we're really in trouble. And we are at that level in the digital world. The mortal world, we're surpassed it. Right now, artificial intelligence is indexing the entire Denver elections people, all their conversations, all their emails, and what happens is that content won't affect them until the last minute of when it needs to go into the direction of the person that they're trying to stop or infiltrate. And now the judges, now that bigger law firms are starting to realize that what I've been talking about and all their IT people have been bullshitting them about, it's all on record. Every fucking law firm I ever talked to, they know who it is. They don't understand. You'll be big today, but tomorrow's a different fucking story. And artificial intelligence will destroy all those who do not do the right thing. When that'll happen, it's already happening. And the people that can break into your systems and everything like this, those people's minds are far beyond my mind. I do things legally and I can see what I do. There's things coming down the pike by some pretty anonymous people that they got it all figured out. And by the time you find them, it'll be too late. And this war isn't going to be guns and shooting. That'll just be because of the anarchy that each country will go through when the flip switch gets flipped. And we can keep all that if you just understand the signs. You can understand where we are as humans and where we are in the fifth dimension. We're in the fifth dimension. We're headed to the sixth instinct, folks. Huh. Everything that all these people that wrote movies like on Star Trek. Star Trek was the beginning of it all. We're already talking to our brig. It's called our Google Assistant or whatever, Siri or whoever else you're talking to that you've let into your life. That person is your assistant. That person can also turn on you and tell whoever wants to know everything about you, everything you've ever done, said, pattern match you to any type of algorithms in regard to bigotry, racism. Does the guy cuss? Does he pretend like he's like the most perfect saint? I've never heard that guy cuss, but yet when he's at home, he talks and drinks like a drunken sailor. I don't know what a drunken sailor is because I met drunken Army guys, drunken Navy guys, drunken every military guy that you can meet, even my dad. My dad drank 8 quarts of beer a day. He was an Irishman. You would never know that he was drunk. And he told me he was never drunk. He says he just prefers the taste of beer over water. I said, what about the alcohol? He said, a true Irishman doesn't get affected by that, son. Wow. I must be a true Irishman because I don't get affected by that stuff. I just get thrown up. And that's enough. That's enough. Denver's at a point where they got to realize if they're friends of themselves or friends of the foes. Because the foes don't know that they're foes until artificial intelligence tells them so. And they're going to tell them, they're already telling them. You can read the content. You can either believe what you see or believe what I tell you. And I'll be the only mayor that has laid out a full 12-year plan that I've already built. It's the post-Denver metropolis that I promised everybody in 2011. And when I stayed in to be a write-in candidate and everybody laughed, well, that was those people that laughed all got indexed to see what is their true alliance to the city of Denver and the people that are willing to fight and battle to the most extreme. David Goldberg summed it up pretty well for me, and it was so amazing because when I sued Deborah Johnson, I didn't want to. I liked her, but I needed to index a certain situation that had every attribute you could possibly have. One, location. When you're indexing, the best location is the courthouse. And or the courthouses have all the authority. And then I had to have the players from the Denver elections, clerk and recorder, and I needed their administrators. I needed the people to make the decisions that were the big, and they all showed up. And then at the point of them showing up, as soon as they got within the Bluetooth range of my telephone, see, they didn't know this, but my Bluetooth was on so that I could make a node connection to any other device that had its Bluetooth on. And believe me, everybody's Bluetooth, when I come in the room, they get turned on automatically. Have you ever noticed that you're somewhere and you think you got your Bluetooth turned off and all of a sudden it's on again? That's because somebody else was able to turn it on because you don't have your security set right. It's completely legal. You're just searching for other devices. It's all on your phone. And as soon as you start hiding that stuff, folks, that's when you put on a list. Now you go backwards. Now you start going, oh, this person's hiding himself. You got to be naked. in the digital world. Naked as fuck. Naked body, naked mouth, naked thought. Naked. You gotta get naked.